Hi, with me we have the stars of Chatayi Kahan Bhichayun, Shesley and Sandeep. I'll start with you, Shesley. The character you played, how did you feel when you played that character?
Um, I felt that I could relate to her
Okay.
in a lot of ways. I have always been a very independent kind of girl, not really running away from home. But in my real life, I have sort of moved out of home on different occasions and for work and for other purposes. So, and she doesn't want to get married, so I'm a bit like that in real life. I like to live my life and focus on my career. So there's all these little things about Rekha that I could really relate to. And, she kind of just, meets these new people and she just sort of blends in with them. And I'm like that, I've lived in like 3 different countries now. And I'm always meeting different people in the different like work that I've done in my life. So in that way, way to come thoda hai, like Rekha. So I could really relate to her in a lot of ways. So it was fairly natural for me to be her and to relate to her. And she's a pretty simple girl in the movie. But she has a lot of depth about her, which is what I felt like I had to give. And I hope I gave that, to the character.
So you, how would you say, personally, if you had to meet Rekha, or if Rekha was your friend, would you like her or not like her?
No, I think she's a very likable character.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was like saying, that very simple but very likable.
Anything negative?
No, I think, she's obviously she's a young character, so a little bit like घर से भाग जाए, मम्मी से झगड़ा करे, which is all very everyday things that a lot of young girls and boys probably go through in their lives. So nothing very strongly negative about her, but she's just she's a teenager and everyone has their phases in life, so that's it. She's just doing her thing.
Thanks. Now we move on to Sandeep. Sandeep. Yes, about your character, Amitabh Bachchan, Gounder.
Amitabh Bachchan. Who doesn't like Amitabh Bachchan, right? Everyone wants to be the big B. Yeah. So in the movie Amitabh Bachchan Gounder, he relates to actually Amitabh Bachchan, right? And I think the character in the movie kinda relates to me because I have that mentality. In the movie,
Like Amitabh Bachchan.
like Amitabh Bachchan. क्या बोलते हैं? Amitabh Bachchan, yes. In the movie, he comes from Australia. He goes to Fiji to look for a Fiji Indian bride. I don't know. When I was young, I always used to tell my mom that, Ma, I want to do arranged marriage. Like अच्छी सी लड़की खोज देना, अच्छी सी Fiji के Indian लड़की, arranged. I always wanted to. And my mom always used to say, नहीं, अगर आगे चल के कुछ गड़बड़ है तो हमें तुम बदनाम करे. Yeah, but yeah, it kind of relates, and I know I tried my best playing that character, Amitabh Bachchan Gounder. Yes, in the movie back then, shot 3 years back. Yeah, 3 years back. It was really skinny. But given the opportunity again to play Amitabh Bachchan Gounder, I think I would do pretty good. Learning from the first movie, like what are the flaws and the mistakes made, and yes, I do pretty good, and it relates to my life as well.
Anything about Amitabh Bachchan Gounder you didn't like?
Amitabh Bachchan Gounder, I don't like.
Anything?
No, not really. He has a nice personality, decent, which I am, not bragging. I like that character, basically. Yeah.
And what do you guys think of each other, as in the chemistry wise?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean, working with Shesley, I learned a lot from her. This was the first time this was a break for me, acting in a movie, just because of Paramsa. And she's a really great actress.
Thank you.
And she taught me a lot of things, and just because of this guy was possible. Yeah.
Yeah, like I had come to Fiji to shoot for the film. So Param lives in Sydney, so he had already casted Mareka, which was me, in Sydney. So the rest of the cast was obviously were auditioned and casted for in Fiji. So I was sort of a little like anxious the whole time, like who's going to be playing ABG's role. And that audition actually went for a while when we were here, and I think you were part of the process as well. We had to have a few days, and a few shortlists happened, and some of the male leads were shortlisted from out of Suva, who had to come from far away, and then there was like dates problem, and it was Christmas time, and people were busy, holidays. So there's a lot of elements that were up and down in casting for ABG's role, and I think Sandeep had come as well for the audition, and then he was we were figuring out which character to give him, and then he was sort of casted for something else, and then in a roundabout way, ultimately he pretty much Param said like he would do the male lead role, and that was fine. So we already had sort of this friendship happening because he was there throughout the whole process. So then naturally, obviously on camera, we just gelled really well because he was sort of there from the beginning of the process. He was also helping us with a few things, and obviously that's really important when you're working together to have that natural chemistry, off screen and on screen as well. But overall, we had fun. As we already mentioned, it was a tight knit cast and crew. So we were sharing a lot of personal spaces and staying in different parts of Fiji very closely, doing a lot of things together, cooking together, eating together, lots of things. So just not with me and him, but the entire cast, we got such a strong bond with each other, and we became such good friends as well. And so everyone just naturally connected and gelled on screen with each other. So we absolutely had no problems at all, and it was good. The chemistry was good.
Just a quick question. If you had the option to choose this Rekha character or play the actual Rekha, which one would you choose?
The actual Rekha from India?
Yeah.
See, personally, I'm not a mimicry artist, right? So I myself know that I'm not gonna be able to play Rekha like Rekha does, obviously. And ultimately, as an actor, you always give your flavor to the character. That's what everyone does, and that's what makes you Rekha or Sri Devi or Madhuri Dixit. They're amazing actresses, but they're all very different from each other. And that's what I want to obviously put out to the audience, that this is Shesley, and this is the way she is. And this is what she gives to each of her characters. So I would still like to play this Rekha, given the choice, because then I'm not compared against someone, and I'm not, people won't have an expectation, because then that becomes a little different scope altogether. So, this is totally fresh of, something that I can personally give her whatever I'd like to give to the character, and I'm not judged against someone else. So definitely still stick to this one.
There was a very scary action scene. Were you actually scared with Billa?
No.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was in that mood and in that zone, especially the one after that I was kidnapped, the tying up in the chair and all that stuff. So obviously, like, I wasn't scared, but the zone that I was in was that zone.
Okay.
which is obviously very important.
Because I've heard a lot of people who've seen this so far, at least 3 or 4, who have said that's an actually kidnapping scene and actually looks scary as well.
Right. Oh, that's good.
Any final words, Sandeep?
Well, I just want to say that I mean, thanks to Param sir and Shipsley, I was fortunate enough to act in a movie like this, and I just want to say that people go watch this movie, and you definitely enjoy this, and
Pesta Basu.
Paisa Vasul, yes, of course.
Definitely.
And
Only just a few dollars.
exactly.
So, not bad for a great night in with the family.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.